So this person, this familiar shadow character, goes in to see a very familiar root worker. A root worker that's off the grid, somebody that's out of the way. You know, they do their dirt, they do their work, they stay underground. They like it like that. They're not over the top flamboyant. They really don't like to showcase their gifts like that. But if something needs to come into balance by way of being made fair, they're really honorable when it comes to helping people who need emergency assistance. Whoever this shadow character is to you, Divine Collective, this person is filled with rage. They were filled with so much rage the day that they went to go see this familiar root worker. Again, familiar as in this was not their first rodeo. This root worker had done spell work for them before. They then are filled with so much rage when they cross the threshold of this familiar root worker that's off the grid. So much so that this root worker says, I really don't want to get my hands on this. I really don't think that this is a good idea. This is the first time they've ever seen this root worker not want to do a job, not want to do any root work. This person says, I need you to tear this person's life up. I want you to wreck their soul. I want them to be this, that, sick, crazy, out of control, just whatever. This root worker says, I told you, this is a chosen one. If you do this work, you better be ready for the backfire. Now, I'll give you what it is that you need. I'll even prepare it for you, okay? But if it backfires, you're going to be fully responsible. It's not going to come back to me. I'm going to make sure that that is being made clear. So, somebody sold somebody a spirit, okay? As I was channeling this energy, I saw like a purple pouch with like some bones in it or a spirit or whatever this was that was prepared by this root worker. The root worker then closes their eyes, places their hands over the bag, and commence to have a silent prayer. Somebody could be Creole. They could have prayed in French using a little Creole because I'm hearing somebody say, tout fini. Okay, whoever this person is, fair skinned woman with green eyes. She's a black woman, though. You know, she's of African descent, if you will. Melanated is what they're telling me. Do not say African. She's that kind of person. She's like, no, she's very educated. She says, I'm melanated. Okay. Now, this client of hers or friend or whatever this is by way of spiritual business that they've had many, many times before, this person's done all kinds of work for this person, but it was always along the lines of integrity, slightly. You know, she can bend the rules and, you know, she can make things be things that they are not. But this was something that was blatantly obvious to this root worker. She doesn't even like to identify herself as a witch. She feels demeaned by the word witch. She really does. This root worker stood on business in telling this familiar client, hey, listen, you shouldn't do that. This person then takes the picture back because I feel like this was after this person that came in, this shadow character, whoever this person is to you, collective, that you left in the shadows. I heard you left this person in the valley in the shadows of death. They are dead to you. You don't even see them in your mind's eye. And when you do, all you see is a black spot of what was and what does not need to be anymore. Listen, welcome to Spiritual Court TV. If you're new here, welcome. If you are returning back, welcome back. Please remember to use your own discernment, your best judgment when it comes to these readings, okay? Keep in mind, by way of the Fifth Amendment for legality reasons, I do not give anybody permission to plagiarize this message and or attach themselves to it spiritually, energetically, for any forms of anything that they may be entertaining that is outside of spiritual divine law. Be that as it may, this person was not protected. Whoever this shadow character is, whoever this person is that don't want to leave you alone. This she says, don't call me no witch. Okay. This Madame, she really does embody the energy of Madame Brigitte. This could be somebody direct from Madame Brigitte's bloodline in the spirit. Okay. She appears to look Caucasian, and that's really how she gets over. Yeah. She's a melanated woman. Alcoholic, whoever this person has addictions, okay? They could be drinking to keep from dying. They're drinking to keep from crying, but they're crying while they're drinking. Everything that this root worker told them was going to happen, happened. All thanks to the creator and the universe, that the collective's energy spiritually came up so clean that the root worker stood on business and literally became an ally for the divine collective. This root worker, again, they'll bend the rules if they need to, but they really don't like to put their reputation on the line like that. They like doing light work. They like bringing justice when people do the wrong thing. They love those situations, but somebody saw you as blameless. They knew this person was very, very insecure, community cup energy, nasty, nasty energy. Somebody might even have a smell, a funk, if you will. It's like, you know how somebody's been arrogant for too long and they're too big in their ego and they're trying to wear shoes that are too big for them and their clothes are too big, but they got people to please. They got people to see. They want people to see them. They want people to compliment them. And if they don't, then they feel offended. It's one of these kind of guys or gals. Could be a feminine, could be a masculine. Lately, a lot of these people have been coming up as drastically diabolical by way of being hermaphrodites on a spiritual level, okay? They're just nasty. They're fragmented feminine and masculine chromosomes that just don't really have a decent DNA splice, okay? Translation in layman's terms, they are remedial people that have been discarded by the universe. Their bloodlines don't even exist, right? So it's almost like when you try to report somebody to spiritual court, and you call their bloodlines under judgment, they don't have a bloodline. You know, well, what do you mean, Neff? Well, we'll get into that. So listen, all praises be to the Most High God for the collective having a clean bill of health by way of their spiritual record. Because this root worker said, I can't touch this person. This is a chosen one. So this person is mad because the root worker said you couldn't be hexed. This glutton, this person is a glutton. This person is greedy. This person is hard headed. This shadow character, whoever this is to you, collective. Spirit says correction, whoever they were, whatever they were. Yeah. Yeah. Now they're just shadow characters that you used to know. The spirit realm is talking. The spirit realm is talking. Boy, these downloads are coming in real good. Now you're just somebody that I used to know. You didn't have to curse me out. You acting like you never knew me and then I wasn't a lover. You were a lover to this person. You showed this person love. You showed them peace. You showed them harmony because that's just who you are. That's just what you do. This person is suffering in their health. They overdosed on gluttonous activities, demonic activities, excessively too much, hard-headed individual. Why wouldn't they trust a root worker that was somebody that was familiar to them? Why wouldn't they trust a root worker who had done work for them previously? When the root worker said, I'm going to make sure that if I give you this bag, might be a gree bag, but in that bag was a spirit, monitoring spirits, a purple velvet bag tied with a velvet rope. Okay. Yeah. Somebody gave this person monitoring spirits because whoever this person is, this gluttonous spiritualist, this warlock, this witch, this androgynous oath taker, oath breaker, they like to break the rules. Whoever they are, they needed to monitor you, study you long enough, and then they had planned to attack. At this point in the conversation, I feel like they felt like they needed to prove something to the root worker. Now, mind you, this is somebody that knows what they're doing. So the root worker commences again to prepare the bag. This glutton, whoever this person is, the first night that they have this bag in their home, they get sick. Okay? Infectious disease, maggot energy, they get sick. Okay? Alcoholic energy. I think it's more than alcohol. I think this card is explaining just a gluttonous parasite. You know, it's like giving somebody a plate of food and they want more and more and more and more and more and more. It's like, dang, you still thirsty? You still hungry? It's giving overindulging, overdosing. My nose is itching. Spirit says that is the truth. Clarify, this person did not want to listen. Now, their goal was to take this bag, and in this bag, it is a bag of bones. This is what I'm saying. There's spirits attached to this bag. These are monitoring spirits, insidious spirits, spirits of chaos, whatever this person wanted this root worker to give them. But remember, the root worker spoke and said, listen, now, if it backfires, I need the spirit realm to know that I warned you. They need to see me as wise counsel, that I gave you wise advice not to do this to this chosen one. So if it backfires, these spirits will come back to collect. Do you understand? This person says, yes, I understand. Whatever their motive was, whatever, was in them that had them pursuing you so hard, Divine Collective, it was something that was just taking over them. It was overwhelming. It was just, this person was sweating, eyes watering. They can just taste this victory. And they needed to prove to the root worker that this was going to work, that you were not, in fact, the chosen one, and that they could separate you from the divine. It was a really bad idea. They got a whole bunch of ugly ass monsters in the underworld mad at them. Ooh. Why were they studying you? Because they needed you to fall into a trap in order to take you out, okay? After being told that you are a chosen one. Now this person's sitting up, staring at the wall, staring at the air, staring at the birds, listening outside, frozen. You ever play that game, when you were little? Tag, you're it, or at recess, when it was time for us to go in, the teacher would say, freeze. And that's how they got all the children to get in a single file line. This reminds me of somebody who's freezing, but they don't want to be frozen. They're stuck. They're in a zombie state. The bones that they were given in that bag weren't real. Somebody sold this person fake spirits, fake protection, fake magic, chaos. Everything that is happening to this person is literally backfiring out of their sheer diabolical nightmare of an imagination. They imagined everything, the nightmare, the hurting you, the unaliving you. When that root worker told them no, she basically sold them a body bag. Yes, that little bitty bag is where their bones would end up in the grinder. They have no protection. They have no shield. Somebody basically went home with some shit that ain't got nothing connected to it. They were never working with chaos spirits, but the universe watched them as they projected this energy out under a serious, deeply rooted belief system that what they had in their hands would be something that would take you out. This person was patient. This is what's so interesting. Imagine waiting 6 months, a year, 2 years to do magic on somebody after studying them very intentionally. This is a level of obsession that I've not seen to date. Somebody studied you, they were very patient for a year or two. And then they said, okay, today's the day, tonight's the night. Friday the 13th is what I just heard. I'm going to do this magic and it's going to work. Now, all the while, they had a bag of bones, a body bag, their own body bag where they would end up. And they had a bag of bones that were really a bag of nothing. This person was being tested. So they went to do the root work. They did some graveyard work. They took the bones, they did the necromancy. They wanted to unalive you and then resurrect you to turn you into something that could be under their control. This is somebody that wanted complete and total control of your mind, your body, and your soul. But they had already been advised this person's soul is of the divine. You cannot take their soul. Well, I always like to talk about the disclaimer, and what they were told. What else, Spirit? That chaos magic backfired. You got LGBTQ, so somebody could be same sex, okay? They were giving, like, even when I heard spiritual hermaphrodite, I said that in a way that the spirit realm was telling me. But I feel like this is a bisexual individual, or if LGBTQ is here, they could show up as a woman in the dream state or as a man. And they like this ability. They like their ability to do this because they feel like people could never really get a handle on them. You don't know if it's a guy or a girl, or if they come up in the cards, it's a King of Wands, Queen of Cups, King of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, King of Pentacles. It's like they like that shape shifting ability. So they come up like this as LGBTQIA, but on a spiritual level, this is just a devil. Okay. You got witchy sister in the reverse. Notice the way it came up in the reverse, because this is not a sister, this is a mister. So we're dealing with a karmic masculine that wanted to come in, rob, kill, steal, and destroy. The fact that they waited, that they were so patient, they give spiritual serial killer. That's how they come off. Like somebody like somebody was moving very calculated. They're taking notes, they're dotting the I's, they're crossing the T's, they're not in a rush. They bought the bag, they got the bag, they've been keeping the bag in the black box, and when it comes time to use it, it's going to be their best work ever. Clarify a little, baby. Mysterious Machiavelli masculine, karmic masculine. Oh, that sucks. The underworld is under judgment, okay? Whatever this is that they implemented, whatever this is that they called on, whatever this is that they conjured up from the underworld in a collaboration with whatever the root worker gave them. Remember, the root worker says, this is not my problem. I'm going to give you this, but just know that the spirit realm knows that I gave you wise counsel and you chose to make your own decision. Free will is the most underrated ability while we walk this planet. And oftentimes these weird ass people abuse it like it's just something that they will get to continue to do, or that it just always keep coming. Like somebody's free will has been snatched up because you didn't do the right thing with your free will. So now the decision has been made for you. It's like, oh, excuse me, I need to decide. They're like, shh, shh, shh. Be quiet, little devil face. The decision has already been made. We don't need you to decide, because when you were given the God-given gift to have your own free will, you wanted to do something that you weren't supposed to do. You were warned. You will or you won't, you can or you can't, you shall or you shan't. And now you don't have any multiple options. There's one decision. Do you want to die or do you want to die? That's it. A man that's jealous of a woman's beauty. So the goal was to entice you, reel you in, rear you in, your rear end. Somebody might like your rear end. Third party situation. You got a sibling here. This is an illusion. Somebody showed up in your energy after studying you. I keep hearing for 2 years. After studying you for 2 years, 2.5, 3 years, they felt like they had enough information to take you out. Somebody targeted you. Clarify this familiar shadow character. They targeted you. A creep. From the creep squeak. I can't even get the words out. Let me get the words out. From the creep squad. I just heard Squidward. Somebody's a goofball. They don't want this to come out. Clear my throat chakra. Stalker, spy, surveillancing you, invasion of privacy. They watched you. It's a peeping Tom, a looky-loo, a pervert, a weirdo. This is somebody that you do not know. That's why the crimes against the divine humanity is so bad. This law that was broken. This is somebody that you don't even know. They called on something. And whatever this something is, it answered the call. Very nefarious, diabolical energy. Somebody was burning candles for a whole year before they attacked you. Witchy sister in the reverse. This person showed up in your shadows. If you have a sister that maybe you never got along with, this is how they show up in your energy to get a reaction out of you. When in fact, truth be told, this is somebody that you do not know. Because I heard, now you're just somebody that I used to know. But in reality, you're not somebody that I ever knew. This is a coward. This is a stalker. This is a spiritual serial stalker, addicted to watching you. Clarify? Because they saw this star that shines so bright. Something about your star, something about your destiny, something about the divine. The goal was to trick you up, trip you up, send you some work, and get you to forfeit your divinity. Somebody wanted you to turn your back on the divine and become a devil, become a demon. Hey, join us over here. We're all vampires. We're all, yeah. Okay. Clarify what's going on, spirit. Yeah, I can't make this up. This is how this person shows up as a cool guy. Somebody's very athletic. They work out, you know. That's what I just heard. They can do a somersault. They can do a backflip, lovers, and cool guy energy. So this person takes that bag and for 2 years they sit on it. Very pretentious energy. They then send this spirit to familiar people in your bloodline, people that don't like you. So this is why they're showing up as a witchy sister, but in reality, this is a mastermind, or at least according to them, they thought they had mastered your mind enough that they had figured it out, enough that they could confuse you and fragment you. This is somebody with a really big ego. You know, they show up like this. It's a guy. Guys like them, girls like them, and they like it like that. It makes them feel powerful. It makes them feel wanted. Clarify pretentious, superficial. The root worker told them, listen, this may or may not work. In fact, the root worker already knows and knew that this would not work. So this person does their magic. The interesting part about it is after leaving that root worker, they then go to a witch who gives them something else. This person had a strategy. Their goal was to build a fence, a shield, if you will, with other people's energy so that they themselves would never get hit by the karma. They thought they outsmarted that root worker. And I feel like that's why she gave them a bag of rocks. Okay. You got healing, you got recovery. You transmuted something, you healed from something. And you transmuted this. Now, the root worker knew that you would. Somebody went to a few workers to get different things. They purchased things from different people. Commercial break. So if you have an online store, if you sell healing oil, anointed oil, you are protected oil, blessed oil, stones, whatever, you really need to filter your clientele. Because what I see from this person is they were collecting things from different places so that when we checked into the energy, it will fall back to the witch or the warlock or the root worker or the this. Now, the one smart root worker that was in the mix knew that this person was going to do this. As familiar as they were to them, as much work as they had done to them in the past or for them in the past, they saw this person as somebody that could easily become a Judas once everything backfired. And they would absolutely be looking for somebody to blame. So the root worker was like, yeah, I kind of see how all this is going to play out. So they took their money, they sold it to them, and then the root worker went and put that money in a jar and did some work on it. And this person goes to another witch and then another warlock. And they're saying, I need protection. I need an amulet. I needed this. I need a reading. I needed this. I needed that. And all the while, they're building up this illusion of a case. So if we go and we look spiritual and we start pulling back the cards, it's like, oh, it's the root worker. Oh, no, it's this witch. It's that. No, because they have this person's energy attached to them. That's why you can't sell protection to everybody. Okay. Got a white guy and a black guy. Could be two lovers. Your spirit team popped out. Okay. They were told to leave you the hell alone. They didn't want to stop. You're somebody that's sweet and compassionate, and this really gets up under this person's skin. In fact, it pisses them off. It makes their skin crawl how nice you are, how sweet you are. They do not like the divine. They don't like God. They're an atheist. They don't believe that the divine is real. They laugh when people pray in the spirit of Christ. And they wanted to prove that you were no different than anybody else that they had taken out who was innocent. This person was like overindulging. They were drunk with power, drunk with control and power. Now they're sitting up feeling away, insecure, and they're mad. Okay. So let's pull back the layers on all these people. They went to all these root workers, all these people, and they got a little bit from here and a little bit from there. They got some what is this? Hot pudding? Oh Lord, hot powder. They got a hot foot powder from her. They got a protection amulet from him. They got some bones over here from the root worker that they thought gave them a bag full of bones with chaos magic, but really could have been like seasoning salt, maybe, and some chicken bones grounded up or something like that. Whatever it is, it wasn't charged up like what they needed for what it was that they were planning to do. Okay. This person then goes and uses some type of sigil and symbol. I'm seeing an 8-point star. I'm seeing black candles on all ends. Somebody could have sat in the middle of this sigil to conjure up a jinn. Okay. Let's get into it. But they took from everybody. They bought their candles from this guy over here. Okay. They went to somebody else that does spell work and they bought the candles over there. Okay. And I'm also hearing that them and their lover had sex with the other person imagining to be a beautiful feminine. Okay. Somebody wanted to wear your skin. They're mad. Okay. They're upset. They know, my nose is itching, that they're being exposed in the spirit realm. Okay. 8 of Cups, their lover walked away. Somebody spooked out their lover. I feel like this lover was playing out like a vampire story in their mind. They thought this shit was fun. This will be for shits and giggles. Oh, we're just playing a role. Yeah, this person was serious about this magic. And one person just thought that they were just playing like it's a fetish. Somebody thought that they were playing a character. Somebody thought that they were playing a role. This person really wants me to shut up. 3 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, they got black candles from somebody. They ordered a gin. What is this? They're ordering a gin. Somebody also likes to have sex with dead people. Okay. Very sick and twisted individual. These are the secrets that they wanted to take your life for, because whoever you are, you talk to the divine and you can see everything. So the reason that they wanted to take you out, hermit energy, is because they feel like you're a keeper of the secrets. Although you know these things about this person, you may have just, allowed the revelations to come through and was like, oh, crazy. You never spoke on it. But this person wanted to take you out and you don't know this person. Okay. So you could be a very spiritual being. You could be a reader. This person could be watching you. They just feel like you know too much and I'm going to unalive you. And no face, no case. I'll just show up as your sister that you don't like in the dream state, or I'll show up like your ex. It doesn't matter. You pull back all the layers, all this weird stuff, whatever. It's a no. Show me all these witches that this person got their stuff from. You went to different stores, different places, different this. Somebody went on a hunt, honey. Knight of Wands. They went on a hunt. They went on a mission. They had to have this Ace of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles energy. Okay. Who is this person? Who's this Queen of Pentacles energy that was pretending to be the collective? Wheel of Fortune. This is a destiny swap, destiny flop, Queen of Wands energy. Okay. 3 of Cups energy, celebrations. This person was excited about this. They're really happy about it. Show me all these people that they went to go get protection from. One of the people that they went to go get protection from called judgment down on them. They went to somebody to either get a cleansing, a reading, or some type of protection, and this person saw through them. So this person could have just been finding random people. They could have just been going to people online. If you run a platform, okay, you've encountered this person. If you provide readings, if you do some type of spiritual services, or you sell candles or oils or whatever, you encountered this person. This person wanted everybody else to get their karma, for the karma to hit them and not them. This person was building like a super suit, a shield of protection with everybody's karma. I took some oil from you. Okay. This is what they're showing me. I took a stone from you. I bought the stone from your shop. I bought the blessed oil from you. I bought the blessed cloth from you. I got a reading from you. And then they would dip around like almost like a checkerboard, like playing checkers and chess, but mixing the game up. And this person is really mad. Oh, this card says judgment. Okay. The Emperor. Clarify these people that they went to go get this root work done. King of Wands. Clarify these people. The Nine of Swords. Now they're looking for the root worker, the one that told them not to do it. Nine of Swords in a reverse. Okay. Somebody wanted to take your beauty so that they could be younger, good looking. This is somebody that prayed for a bigger penis. This is for somebody that prayed for more lovers. This is somebody that prayed for people to be attracted to them. This is a masculine doing glamour magic and glamour spells, and they needed your energy. This person wanted to take you out because of how beautiful you are, not just aesthetically, not just your hair, your nails, your this, all the things that the world sees, but really your spirit and your soul. And they didn't like that answer that the root worker gave them, but now they're looking for that root worker. The other people who they bought stuff from, show me these people that they got stuff from. Page of Cups in the reverse. Ooh, the other people that they got these things from, oil. The other people that they went to light workers. They went to light workers. Show me these light workers that they bought things from. Yeah, these people have closed out cycles with them. So these light workers eventually became aware that this person purchased something from them, a reading, oil, candles, amulets, whatever this is that had the person's energy on it. If you purchase something from me, let's just say I say, hey, I have these rings on my website and it's a blessed ring, right? And you order it, it has my energy on it. And this is what somebody wanted. And they needed enough of everybody's energy so that when they did the work, they would be shielded by all these people's like protection, salt and hot foot powder. And, somebody was even buying something off of Etsy, is what I see here. Okay. Reaching out to spiritual workers on Etsy. Damn. Yeah. Seven of Swords. Somebody's really trying to get me to shut up. A cord just broke. Whoa. Clarify. Yeah, it just broke. I felt it. Ten of Wands in the reverse. You don't have to worry about this person anymore. In fact, I don't even think you've ever been worried about this person. Somebody's faith with the divine, with the Ace of Pentacles, is so ironclad. It's etched in stone. It's almost like, yeah, try to attack me if you dare. You really gonna go around and get up by something that's so divine. It's gonna light fire to your ass. Higher realms loves to drag people like this to their rightful place, put them right in their space in hell. Woo, my nose is itching. The Five of Wands in the reverse with the Nine of Swords and the Ten of Wands in the reverse. Bad idea. Clarify this root worker. The root worker. They're looking for the root worker. Oh, yeah. The Star. I cannot make this up. Somebody ran into a chosen one. So this root worker is a chosen one. Okay. They do the right thing as much as possible. That's what I just heard. Unless they gotta let somebody know. Not they gotta get down in the dungeon with it. They gotta, lay somebody out. 9 times out of 10, if this root worker gets their hands dirty, you deserve it. It's somebody that plays by the rules. It's interesting because this person knows this person. They've known this person. So to see this person give them wise counsel and they not take the advice, yeah, that pretty much was a clear-cut indication that this person is somebody that this root worker did not want to associate themselves to. This root worker could have undone some work over time. So let's just say they were working with this root worker for 5 years, and the fact that they wanted this root worker to then take down a chosen one severs their relationship, because the root worker is like, yeah, I got to get away from you. I just told you not to do that. You still want to buy this? Yeah. And I done gave you a bag of bones and you done went out there and made a mess of your life. I'm about to detach from every and anything I've ever done for you. This root worker had put protection over this person. They saw this person like become more and more thirsty for power. This person may not have always been a dark individual, but the more they did magic, they got addicted to it. It was like they saw that things were manifesting and then they became reckless, drunk on power, a glutton. You know what it's giving me? It reminds me of that movie, The Lord of the Rings. Remember the magic ring? When people put it on, they would change. You would see their shadow side and their demons. But when they took it off, they'd be crying like, I don't know what I was thinking. But when they put it on, they're like, yes, I'm the most powerful. And like, shut your dumb ass up. Shut your dumb ass up, man. I'm going to destroy by the power of the. Listen, somebody is out here, like literally, somebody set their sigil up like the Game of Thrones. Don't go telling all their business, root worker. Clarify, root worker. What's up, root worker? This root worker was like, yeah, nah, I'm good. Two of Swords in the reverse. Yeah, they lied to this root worker, okay? So maybe this root worker did not know that this person was a liar when they first started helping them. Until this root worker realized this person was running around to different workers, picking up different energies. They could have, this root worker could have even said to them, like, listen, if you work with somebody, you got to work with me. You can't keep running around here and there, getting readings from them, getting a reading from her, buying over here. That's why I don't do readings. This doesn't go against anybody that really does readings, okay? Because there's some really good readers out there, personal readers. But some of these people, they shop. They'll go over here and get a message and they'll go over here. Then they want to cross reference. By the time all is said and done, they're somewhere getting a reading on the reader. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Ooh, baby, no, just stay in it. Okay. You got the King of Swords here in the upright. Clarify, Holy Spirit, what's going on? Yeah, with the Six of Pentacles. Okay. Somebody was working with a whole bunch of different workers, thinking that somebody felt like if I pay all these people, somebody could have paid 6 people for items, for spiritual items. They did pay people for spiritual work. Now, these people didn't tell them not to do it because these people were just like them, drunk on power and all kinds of illusions. You got the Six of Pentacles, okay? Yeah, this person is really interesting. They paid a few people to do spell work over you, and they figured that one of these spells has to go through. It's like having a pending transaction. At some point, you think if you just swipe this card, something's got to go through, even if the bank account is overdrawn. Clarify what's going on. They're looking for this root worker now. Ooh-wee. 9 of Wands in the reverse, 2 of Swords in the reverse. This root worker realized that this person was never really a good person. The root worker had grown over time, meaning they ascended. 5 years ago, when they helped this person, they thought this person needed help. They could have did some type of protection for this person. They could have given this person a reading. And maybe 5 years ago, this person was a good person, but over time, they became addicted. They became cocky, very arrogant, very, I can do what I want, very insidious behavior. They became their shadow side and they took that character on full throttle. Somebody then puts their train on the tracks and then it jumps up and picks up and falls off and derails. And yeah, somebody went spazzing out into their shadows. This root worker took their protection off this person. Yeah, I just heard I've been took my work up off this person. This root worker don't want no parts. Clarify this root worker. Now they're looking for the root worker, the good one, the one that told them. Knight of Swords, shots are fired. Somebody wants to have a conversation. Yeah, this root worker basically, y'all, hand delivered this person to the devil. Literally. Sure did. Sure the hell did. Sure the hell did. And now they're asking for forgiveness to your bloodline. 10 of Cups and Justice. I will be back with part 2. Okay. I'm just going to go take a little bit of a break. I'm going to meditate as I keep this door open so that I can still pull downloads. Meet me back here at Spiritual Court TV for part 2 of this reading. If this resonated with you so far, or even if you just like it for information reasons, give it a thumbs up, like, love, share, and I'll see you in part 2. Peace be with you.